I have with me here two very eminent and distinguished guests sitting along with me. But before I go there, I'll briefly introduce myself. My name is Vidya Iyer. I'm the director of a company called Electronics and Controls Power Systems. We manufacture UPS systems, and we supply across the country and overseas too. Now, let me get on to my guests. I have to my far left Mr. Sandeep Ori. Sandeep is a dear friend. Mr. Sandeep is a business strategy consultant who uses behavioral science to help us understand why we do, or rather why people do what they do. Sandeep has worked in a variety of domains, ranging from IT and media to engineering and retail packaging. He's been teaching and training students and professionals on behavioral science, entrepreneurship development, communication, and lectures at Ambedkar College as well as Ramaiah College. Welcome, Mr. Sandeep. To my left, I have Mr. Krishna. Mr. Krishna is the founder of Ajira Global Public Relations, and he's a communication and reputation consultant who offers professional advice to governments, industry bodies, and business organizations. Mr. Krishna is an alumni of XLRI Jamshedpur and an international speaker as well. I'm curious to hear with Mr. Krishna to tell us more about the discussions that we are going to have today, which is about business strategy, branding, communication, and digital marketing. My first question for this evening is to Mr. Sandeep. How important do you think is marketing to MSMEs? And how can a small and medium enterprise go about starting a marketing campaign for themselves?
Thank you. When we say MSMEs, it's very strange because it actually covers a very large cross-section of different types of companies. I mean, for instance, here we would have a lot of companies whose probably turnover is maybe less than 5-10 crores. And technically, the definition of MSME can, almost go up to about 200 crores also. The requirement and the things that would drive a company that's at the 10, 15, 20 crore level and those that are at the 100, 150 or 200 crore level are very, very different. Because the companies at the entry level are largely, entrepreneur driven. They're practically a one-man show which has actually grown large. Okay, so the mindset is very different. Okay, companies that have already reached that 200 crore level, they've matured over the years, so they've realized what else they can do. How this becomes relevant is, the power of being able to think big. When an entrepreneur is at the entry level, you're thinking survival. Primarily.
Correct.
You're thinking survival, you're thinking how you want to pay the bills, you're thinking how you want to capture the market, and you have these things about, you don't really think in terms of marketing, digital marketing, social media. You think you can't afford it, right? But that's the irony, because that's probably the best way for you to figure out, how to reach a larger audience. I think companies that are beginning to start out should probably consciously set aside a budget, for digital marketing. See, it's very important because, a digital marketing budget would probably not be more than maybe what, 50, 60,000 rupees at least. As a sensible one, you get the ridiculous ones at the 10,000 rupee level also, but please don't go there. Okay, so you'll have somebody reasonable doing digital marketing will charge you about 50, 60, 70,000 rupees a month. That's actually very, very affordable. Because in a year, you'll end up spending what, 6, 7, 8, 10 lakhs? If you're at the 2 crore, 3 crore level, that's the least you can do because the kind of reach that you will get. See, at the end of the day, you go out selling. You go out selling, what do you do? You're trying to sell to people and you're trying to get them to believe you. They don't know who you are. They know a Flipkart. They know larger companies. They don't know who you are. So you got to build your credibility. How do you do that? So the easiest way is digital marketing. He will agree. He's the king of digital marketing. So from a mindset perspective, I think it's very, very important for smaller companies, especially at the entry level, at the micro and small level, to seriously put aside money for digital marketing because that can really, really give you a lot more credibility.
That's true. With Mr. Krishna, with everybody talking about digital marketing, wherever we go, how should I, as an MSME business owner, go about identifying the right digital marketer, and what metrics should I know that digital marketing is actually working for me?
Okay, I just step back a little bit and come back. See, your digital marketing, social media marketing, any other marketing, even this is a marketing platform, right? So that comes a little later. But whether as you grow, industries, MSMEs, the micro, small, medium enterprises, as you grow, even if you started with 50 lakh rupees business or much lesser, then you grow up. Are you able to tell your success stories through different platforms, not necessarily all the time on digital? Sandeep is stressing on it because it's one of the most economical ways of doing it. But there are plenty of others. If you're able to write your success stories, if you're able to tell the success stories in the most effective way, then you're building your brand. If you're not building your brand, whether you're a micro, small, medium, I know a couple of companies, few companies who are doing 100 crore rupees business every year in Pina alone. Forget about others. But they don't tell their stories out. They're happy because they've been having the business for the last 10, 20, 30 years, and it's moving on. But unfortunately, the situation will not continue forever. And even these businesses which are seeing 50, 100, 200 crores are suffering because they're not able to scale up anymore. They're not able to scale up anymore because they did not build the brand. They had happy clients who would pay them well, regular job order, they would complete it, and they would be counting the money. But when the big guys came, when the other competitors came, who had already built their brand, big brand, overseas or otherwise, they know either they can be acquired or they haven't built the brand. So unfortunately, I'm saying, if you're not allocating, Sandeep was mentioning how much of marketing that you need to allocate. It's not just 10 lakhs. I say as a standard marketing budget of 5% of your profit, turnovers. Otherwise, you are sinking. You're sinking. You need to build your brand. You need to build your reputation in the market. People were talking about, Padhi sir was talking about, kind of employees being assets. All these are inside-out stories. You have 100 employees who are happy with you. They are big brand ambassadors to you. Each one doing a great job. If you're able to build that story, let's say a shop worker, if he's doing a great job, and if you're able to write a small story about it and put it out on the media, you're making him happy inside, and you're telling a story of success, what kind of works that you can do. That's the only way to build brands. You look at any large corporate brands. I worked in Shell, of course, I speak for myself now. I worked in Director Corporate Communications at Shell many years ago. I know how they built the brand inside. They were only telling success stories. What you did great, even if it means something unachievable in your shop floor or service industry. We were not talking much about service industry today, but I think subsequently we'll do it. Build your brand as you grow your business. Otherwise, you will hit a roadblock one day. You're doing great business, but people don't know you, and people will always go to, kind of vendors who are known in the market.
Exactly, sir. So well said. Jo dikta hai, wo bikta hai. So we need to learn to tell stories.
Just to add to what he said, it's very important because, SMEs have the additional challenge, and we saw this earlier, one of the panelists also mentioned, that we don't get good talent. Now, the big challenge is, the guys whom we interview, they want to join companies which have a better brand presence, right? They don't want to join us, even though, we would be willing to probably offer them a higher salary. But if you are brand, as he rightly said, if you have that kind of presence, and then when you put out an ad, I don't know, it's a LinkedIn ad or whatever, but if you don't have a presence on LinkedIn and suddenly you've not built an audience on LinkedIn, you don't have a presence, you're just doing, Happy Diwali and things like that on LinkedIn, that doesn't do brand building. Okay, you really need to tell the stories because that will work. Then when you put out an ad on LinkedIn, that's when people will respond because they'll go through your page and they'll say that, okay, this is a regular company, it's doing good stuff, it's talking about its people, it's talking about its success stories, and that's how the brand building happens. You need not always be there to sell. You could be a B2B company, not really bothering about the general public, okay? But you'll need to hire talent. What happens then? Okay, so if you've got that kind of presence, that helps because you can't, go and do hoardings everywhere.
Just this. How many of you knew Rupee Boss before this event? How many of you? How many of you knew Rupee Boss before this event?
See the organizers raising their hands.
Yeah. But you've been in the business. Yeah. You have working with about 100 banks. You're big. You have so many people. Okay, you're Bombay-based, Dubai-funded, all that.
Okay, I'm just pitching now.
No,
I'm just kidding.
Okay, but I'm just trying to tell you that you need to tell your stories. If you got a small industry, 10 crore loan from some bank, if you're not putting that as your customer success story somewhere, of course, with all the clearances that you may need, if you're not doing that, you're not growing. You're not growing in the markets that we need to do. I was in similar session in Udupi, Bengaluru, a few months back, and I was happy to connect with P.N. Shetty, Praveen, Chandra, and a few others. And we were talking about these kind of events to happen, more often and other things. They've come right into Pinya sector where the den is. Pinya Industrial Area is one of the oldest in Bangalore, doing crores of business. They plan to do this in Electronic City. They plan to do it in Whitefield. We're missing one small thing, which I'm going to give them a kind of little bit of hint how to do this better. But I'm happy to help them. You must learn to appreciate your successes yourself, create the story, get a small marketing agency, small PR agency will be able to tell the story. It's not a big deal, trust me. There are great content writers, college guys can do it. Then you can refine it because you know the business. You can do it, and I encourage each MSME, kind of industries, to please get some people to market your company, brand your company, build the reputation. When you go into financial relations, investor relations, when some of the MSMEs want to go do IPO, you need all this. Otherwise, nobody will invest in you. Right?
You answered all my questions even before I could shoot them.
Sorry.
Probably since we're running out of time, just a last question to you, Sandeepji. What common marketing mistakes you see MSMEs commit?
They say if you do something, you'll make a mistake. Okay, I don't see them doing anything. They're not doing anything. Please do. Make those mistakes. It doesn't matter. You see, nobody has it right. The thing is, the biggest thing that we miss the point, and this happens to all of us. I've been an entrepreneur founder also myself, and I've also made this mistake. We think we have the best product, in the world. Okay, and we think that what we've done, nobody else has done. Or the way in which we are doing it, nobody else is doing it, okay?
That's so true.
Yeah, so we all think like that, I also used to think like that, till reality, gave me a good check. But the fact of the matter is, it doesn't matter what you think. It matters what your customer thinks, okay? So what you need to do is go figure out why that guy bought from you. You may think, it's this feature or it's this pricing or it's never the price. We are buyers. We go to a shop. Do we buy the cheapest thing available? No, we don't. But why do we think we have this big thing that, we are small, so therefore the only way we'll have an advantage is if our price is the cheapest? But that's not true because human beings don't think like that. I mean, we talk of behavioral science. We are all people. The people we sell to are also people, right? They think like how we think. When we go to in the market to buy something, we don't buy the cheapest thing available. Are you wearing the cheapest shirt? No. Are you wearing the cheapest shoes? No. So why do you think your customer is looking for the cheapest product or the service? So get out of that mentality for the first thing, So don't worry about the price. You have to make it look right for them. That's where it will help. That's where you will need that marketing because you have to go and figure out what's happening in their minds, how to build that perception, right? So you will have to build that perception. You can't do that. Now, what may be good for me may not be good for him, and it may be great for her, and you will hate it. So that's why we are all different, and that's why there are, probably 150 different types of toothpaste. Because if there was just one good product, there won't be so many toothpaste, no? But I like something else, and she likes something else, and everyone else likes something else. So don't be intimidated by that. Go find your niche. That's the challenge. You need to know who's that customer of yours, who's really going to come to you and for what reason. And just go after that. You'll get it.
So let's make a start. Let's make mistakes. So very well said, Sandeep ji.
Just before I think you want to conclude or summarize and maybe take a couple of questions from the, just want to tell you that, it's, if you're doing 1 crore, it's a simple mathematics, 1 crore business, 5% is a standard. Sometimes it's 3% for people who have having lesser margins in their profits. 3%, 2%, but do some marketing if you're not doing marketing. And sometimes business profits are high, people are going up to 10%. It's the industry world. It depends on what you want to spend, but please do spend some marketing, brand building, visibility exercises, and do that with your true stories. If you don't have someone to write true stories, get somebody, make videos, float them in the YouTubes, small capsules, 30 seconds, 1 minute. You know a lot, WhatsApp allows you so many things. If you're able to video the manufacturing part of it, success part of it, and make capsules of 30 seconds, 1 minute, you're really doing well. It doesn't cost you anything. You just need someone, good brain, to write that, and people like Sandeep and me are there in the market industry to help. We are really working very hard with MSMEs, because we believe that this nation thrives on MSMEs, not just on the big corporates. This is the bones which are holding everything, and we're happy to support. You may not have great budgets, but we're happy to tell good success stories. Because I know that MSME, not just in Pina, but in many service sectors, are really doing great things, just that they're not able to tell the story because they're too busy or they don't have time.
I think we'll be doing a big injustice if we don't talk about all the stories that we are happening in our shop floor and putting it out there and sharing it and celebrating it amongst our people as well as our customers. So before time's up, but we will be taking 1 question each for all of these guests out here, please. 1 question for each of them.
Any questions, we'll be happy to answer this right now. 2, 3 questions, that's it. Yeah, I have a hand.
Yes, sir. Yes, Shubhodji.
Yeah.
So can you suggest me, I'm a Dr. Subodh Pandit from BKV Finance Solution. Can you suggest me in list budget where we can start the social media?
2%.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
2%, 3%, that's the thing.
Thank you, friends.
5 is a marketing standard, but that's how it works, yeah.
2 to 5%.
It's number 1, rainwater filter.
Can you tell the name of it?
Aquarius.
Anyone knows about it?
No. But
That's the problem.
now I have, this is from last 1 month, I am marketing myself, as you said like that. Yesterday, I got verbal assurance from one villa project company. They assured 300 filters.
And what
Just
marketing
see, just
strategy
one
did you
person
adopt,
can
sir?
do, yeah.
Yeah, I am voluntarily doing marketing myself. As
Now,
you
what
said,
marketing strategy did you adopt, sir?
I am proudly saying about my product everywhere.
Like how he did here.
Yes, here. The same thing. If you are see, we all are talking about rainwater harvesting from the last 20 years, but everyone is indirectly, they are telling, no, it will not succeed because it's spoiling our property. I want to remove that tag.
Yeah.
So my filter will 100% helpful, and my methods will 100% helpful for the world.
I want you to come to my apartment. I'm the apartment association secretary. I'll give you some business.
Thank you, sir. Now
So that's marketing worked here.
Because you spoke about it.
thank you.
Anybody else? Otherwise, we'll just, yes, sir.
My friend Madhusudan.
Gentleman at the back.
I'm into advocate on the tax matters for the last 40 years. Not a single client came from website or LinkedIn to me. By even looking at my board, not a single client came to me. How can I promote on LinkedIn?
Okay. Not a single client came to you then, but you don't know now how many you have lost after the website
And
came.
most of the
because if they're going to others, they may not be coming to you then. That's
Most
how it
of the
works.
customers are MSME. My wavelength, their wavelength also sync in the same way. So we nothing is coming out.
Madhu,
There is the mindset is
Madhu
there.
is almost retired and he's made a lot of money, so that's why he's chilled out on this. But I'm happy. See, those were days. It is true. Those were days when everybody was having a level play, where you had no website, no social media, no digital media, no WhatsApp and things like that. But today's world is a different one. You need a level playing field to succeed. That's what we're trying to tell you.
What would be the marketing spend and ROAS that we can expect in a D2C company? Because a lot of D2C players are emerging. We are also investing into some. We just wanted to figure out.
Just give me one example of the D2C.
A clothing brand, let's say a women's ethnic brand.
See, typically the spend of a D2C would be a lot more than the spend of, let's say, a B2B company. Okay? Because you need to reach a much larger audience and the conversion is a lot less. Okay? So there is no thumb rule. In the good old days, when we used to do marketing the traditional way and there wasn't any social media, we used to have a number of maybe 20 to 25% is your entire sales and marketing cost. Typically, that is what it would be. But the way things have changed since then, and you can do so many different types of marketing in so many different ways. Now it depends on where your audience is. Okay? So if your audience is going to be, probably an age group that's primarily on Instagram and not on LinkedIn, you'll need to spend your money there and not there. But if your audience is not there, it's like I always give this classic example. If you're selling hockey sticks, for instance, not stand outside a swimming pool, right?
Correct.
So because you would go where your audience is. So you would need to go and find out where your audience is. If your audience is in an expensive place, that's the kind of money you'd need to spend. So there's no thumb rule for that. It depends on the product that you have.
A quick follow-up as well. So this is the case that has been seen with pretty much each and every D2C brand. They are kind of stuck with the marketplaces and how marketplaces treat them. What is the way in which we can create a brand out of them?
Create a brand for them or for yourself?
For the D2C players themselves to stand and fight against the marketplaces. How do they come out of the clutches and become independent and become a brand in its own right and come out of the trading model?
Okay, so see, building a brand is very different for different industries. Okay, so in your clothing industry example that you gave, for instance, now it depends. Are they luxury brand clothing? Are they casual wear? Are they athleisure? Are they innerwear? Are they for children? Because at different levels, you will need different types of marketing. So the brand building for children's brand would probably be a different approach than the brand building for maybe, maybe a three-piece luxury suit, for instance. Or if they're in the accessories business, again, it's a different market. So there is no one size fits all. That's why you'll need to keep trying, which is why I say, please make mistakes. See, if you don't try it, you'll not figure out what works.
Coming up with our own model of success is what you're trying to recommend.
You'll have to find that. And for everyone, it will be different.
Yeah, I'll just take 30 seconds to answer your question. See, sometimes... sometimes...
That may also not work.
See, sometimes you have your product which may not be selling digital platforms, too competitive, all that. Go back to the apartments, build your brand slowly with small groups, just like how these. In Udupi, we had probably 100. Today, we have 150, 200 here. And I've been telling to Praveen that you should do these small group seminars of 100, 200, build it up, and once in a year, do a big blast of 1,000, 1,500 people. I think they're working very well towards it. Capture your audiences, make it popular, make it lovable, but your product cannot be cheap. Just because we advertise, the strength is in your product. Always in your product. Always in your service, always your technology. How you pack it, how you market it, Sandeep will tell you. But I'm the storyteller. I'll tell you only the truth. I'll tell the audience only the truth. And I pack it nicely. That's how it is. So find your audiences in small groups. Get them together in one place. Build your brand. Go to the next level. It won't cost you heavens.
Well,
I think we
one
can take
last
this
question.
offline. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, you want to take it offline? Last question from the lady, yes.
We are into renewable energy solar power projects. So I got inspired from both of you. I'll contact you and I'm happy to share our success stories. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
That's so sweet. Thank you
Thank you
so much for all
much.
the panelists. That was an informative and interactive session. So bigger round of applause for all the panelists on the stage. I would request Ms. Rukmini to please get onto the stage to present a token of gift to Ms. Vidya here. Can we have a bigger round of applause for the panelists on the stage? I think this was one of the informative and the interactive session we had. I would request Mr. Vasant Shetty to please get onto the stage and present a token of gift to Mr. Sandeep Hori, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Next, I would request Punaraja sir to get onto the stage to present the token of gift to Mr. Krishna Marianka, sir. So once again, a bigger round of applause for all the three panelists on the stage. So why is that serious, sir? Face. That was a serious smile. Well.